What do you want 2025 to look like? Seriously, take a second and think about it. For me, this year is all about trying to level up, getting healthier, sharpening my mindset, and improving how I approach gaming, which is a pretty normal thing we talk about here on the channel. Over the years, I've learned a lot from productivity books, YouTubers, a lot of my own trial and error. And in the video today, I want to share just some ideas on intentionality, how it can help you live a better life. And the first step is just defining clear goals, the foundation for all of this. If you're doing something without a clear mission, a vision in your head, it's very easy to drift aimlessly or get overwhelmed. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Maybe you want to be healthier, more balanced, more intentional with your time. Write those goals down in a way that feels accessible to you. Personally, I like to write my goals in a Google Doc because I can pull it up from pretty much anywhere. My phone, the computer at home, work. It is easy to refine and improve them as new ideas or priorities come up. For one example, this year I'm trying to get back in a good routine for my health, cycling more often. And that doesn't just mean like working out, but trying to create a system that works for me, such as scheduling workouts, meal prepping, and tracking progress weekly in that same document. Another example, if your goal is to get more out of your gaming time and your habits, just break it down. Maybe you want to hit the highest rank you ever have in your competitive game of choice. Maybe it's finally clearing out your backlog of single-player games. Writing these goals down allows you to prioritize them and decide what steps will help you achieve them. You might even track small milestones like dedicating one night a week to backlog gaming or setting aside time just to practice or review your theater files from your competitive game that you like playing. Goals aren't just about what you're doing, they're about who you are becoming. When you align your actions with a clear vision of the person you want to be, decision-making becomes easier, and you're less likely to get thrown off by distractions or setbacks. With a document or a tool to revisit often, you'll have a compass to keep you on track and a record of how far you've come. Step 2, build systems that support your goals. Goals alone will not get you there. You need systems. Systems are the daily, weekly, and quarterly habits that keep you on track. For example, I use an app called Todoist for task management. It's a super simple checklist app. That's it. And I break my year into quarterly goals because annual goals, they don't have a lot of urgency. And frankly, they're easy to blow off because they don't have that urgency. The quarterly thing lets me adapt and recalibrate every 3 months. I've talked a ton about the awesome tools for gamers, backlogged.com, howlongtobeat.com. They can help you track what you're playing, how long it's going to take you to beat, and that gives you all sorts of data to really prioritize what you want to tackle next. Some people prefer making custom solutions, like maybe using a Google spreadsheet to organize your goals and manage your time commitments. Maybe even prioritize what games you want to play next based on like a schedule or your mood. With all that said, though, not all systems work for everyone. I've learned through trial and error that the best systems for me are the ones that I can actually sustain. The ones that don't introduce too much complexity, and the big one, friction. Like I'll dump a tool if it becomes more of an effort to use it. I had a project manager friend who loved building these crazy elaborate Trello boards with automations and workflows, and yeah, it was cool for sure. But that system, no. So much work to build, I would abandon that in a heartbeat. Simple tools like a shared Google Doc or a plain notebook have worked far better, at least for me, because they're quick, they're easy to update, and they're just nice to access right from anywhere. The key is to find what works for you. Maybe you love the structure of apps like Notion, or maybe you prefer the tactile nature of writing things down by hand. Experiment and just be honest with yourself about what you're willing to maintain. Systems aren't about perfection, they're about creating a framework that helps you move forward consistently. Step 3, prioritize the basics. None of this works without a solid foundation, and sleep is at the core of it all. If you're overtired, if you're burnt out, Even the best systems will fall apart under those circumstances. Sleep is your cheat code for better focus, mood, productivity. For me, improving my evening routine, like cutting down on screen time an hour before bed, sticking to a consistent bedtime, and unfortunately, like giving up the fun stuff to prioritize sleep. There are days where you just work and work and work, and before you know it, it's bedtime, and all you want is just to play a game for like an hour or two, but you know you're going to pay the price if you put in that time. It's better to make the tough choice to maintain that schedule. And, if you're not caring for yourself, not even the best tools will help you achieve your goals. I go through seasons where I'm on it, I'm driven, I'm getting a bunch done and making lasting improvements. And then there are times, more often than I'd like, where the stress of life just throws me off completely. It's hard to maintain good systems and habits, and it's easy to get derailed. I also get really frustrated with the whole productivity guru subgenre here on YouTube, where people are telling others exactly, here's what you need to do. And that's really not my intent with this video or any of these tips. You're going to have to find what works specifically for you in your life and your preferences. There's no one size fits all. And these tip videos can make things seem so much simpler than they actually are in reality. Momentum is key. Building momentum is the absolute hardest part of any new habit. It's frustrating because at first, you're not going to see any progress. And that's when it's easiest to just abandon that new habit. Stick with it. Press on. Progress takes time, but it will come if you keep showing up. Step 4, level up your presentation. This one's new to me. It's a little weird. I typically don't like shopping for clothes all that much. I'll wear like a sweater I got as a gift for the next 10 years. If it works, it works. I've typically prioritized comfort over style. It can get really superficial if you're like super focused on all the trendy clothes stuff. But there is something about putting a little more effort into your appearance each day. Not on the vanity side, but starting the day with a sense of purpose. If you look in the mirror and you see the version of yourself that aligns with the vision of that you see for you, it gives some confidence, and that confidence kind of bleeds into everything else. How you tackle work, how you approach challenges, and even how you pursue bigger goals. It's a signal to yourself that you're prepared, you're put together, you're polished, and that kind of effort goes with you. I've mentioned this before, the tip of making your bed every morning. That small win gives confidence and momentum towards everything else. And so I'm trying to implement this habit now as something with style, like feeling put together for whatever reason has given additional confidence on each day, which can help with that momentum. Step 5, learn from the experts. If you're looking for guidance, here are 3 books that have big time helped how I think about productivity and intentionality. The first is Deep Work by Cal Newport. This book emphasizes the importance of focused, undistracted time for tackling meaningful tasks. It's a game changer for prioritizing quality over quantity and cutting out unnecessary distractions. Next is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is packed with practical advice on building habits that stick. One key idea is focusing on marginal gains, which are small improvements that add up over time. It's a reminder that progress doesn't have to be dramatic in order for it to be effective. And Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal. This is a newer book, came out a few years ago. It's about balancing productivity and happiness, and it definitely helped me reframe how I think to avoid burnout and definitely focusing on work that is energizing and not draining. I loved reading when I was younger. By the time I got to college, I kind of burned out. I didn't enjoy it as much. And if you feel similarly, and maybe book recommendations are intimidating, YouTube is a great way to get recaps for any of these books. Audible is another great way to consume audiobooks, especially if you're like an MMO gamer or you play titles that are pretty easy to basically multitask with. Listening to a good audiobook while you're doing one of those things can be really chill and enjoyable. But definitely YouTube is where you can find great overviews of any of these books. I'd probably start there, like a video recap of one of these books. It's a low commitment way to see if the ideas resonate before you enter into the full text. Step 6, applying intentionality everywhere. Intentionality isn't just for goals. It can apply to your hobbies like gaming. What do you want to get out of your gaming time? For some, it's a great way to connect with friends and grow bonds through multiplayer games. And for others, it might be trying to make it as a competitive player or as a content creator looking to build an audience. Maybe you're just looking to simply experience incredible narratives and recharge your batteries. This past year, I went through a big shift in my gaming goals. I used to be almost exclusively a multiplayer FPS player. And over time, started moving away from multiplayer and leaning back into single player experiences. And right now, I'm just enjoying as many great single player games as I can, but with some balance. I don't want to create some crazy guilt-inducing backlog. I don't want to obsess over finishing every game like it's a chore. Instead, I'm just trying to figure out how gaming fits into my life in a healthy and enjoyable way. Finding that balance can be tough, but it is worth it. If you're the kind of person who struggles with gaming goals, ask yourself, what matters most to you? Do you feel recharged after playing? Or are you left feeling stressed because of maybe an unmet goal? You didn't hit the rank you wanted to, or the game just wasn't that fun. There's no right or wrong way to do all this. It's just important to align your gaming habits with what brings you joy and fulfillment. For example, maybe you love narrative games. Maybe just commit to playing one immersive story-driven game at a time for that month. If multiplayer is your jam, focus on building consistent play sessions with friends or practicing specific skills. And if you're like me, kind of jumping from one style of gaming to the other, give yourself the grace to just explore without guilt. Gaming's not about forcing yourself to fit a mold, it's about discovering what role it plays in your life. So that's currently my plan for leveling up in 2025. Defining clear goals, building systems to support them, prioritizing the fundamentals, sleep and health, refining how I present myself, and trying to apply this intentionality to all aspects of life. The goal isn't about doing more. It's to do better. Living intentionally means aligning your actions with the person that you want to become. We covered a lot in this video, and it's definitely the tip of the iceberg. In future content, I would like to share some more practical steps in order to achieve some of those bigger goals, and ultimately just trying to catalog my experience of gaming and life here on the channel. It's not easy. This journey is weird, throws curveballs. So let's hope 2025 is a level up moment for everyone. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're planning to do to level up this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.